How to turn a stranger into a high ticket client in 72 hours or less. Now, just getting back from the beach and actually put my hair up, long hair, don't care. Uh, I was like, I got to record this video for you because it is really powerful when you can get the steps of a client journey down from when they first hear about you, whether it's becoming a friend on Facebook, an Instagram follower, and the sequential steps that have to happen in order to take somebody from just hearing about your brand, hearing about what you do, not really even sure exactly what you do, to giving you lots of money to help them solve a problem. And so we just had an instance here just a couple days ago where somebody became friends with me on Facebook on Friday and started to consume some of my content, and by Tuesday became a high ticket client. And we've had instances in the past where I had a woman who heard me on a podcast. She became my friend on Facebook. And then within 24 hours, she had booked in a call with me and spent over $12,000 with our brand. And so I'm going to show you how I've done this and how you can be able to map this out in your own journey here, because it's probably not too dissimilar from mine. And so let me pop on over here and I'm going to share my screen right quick. So, all right, this is something I shared with some of my personal clients on a call the other day, and I'm gonna literally share this with you right now. And so this is what we call a content ecosystem. And let me back up here just for a quick hot minute, as the kids say. The old way of doing things, so we could put some context here, is people will post content on Facebook or Instagram. Maybe they're doing a lot of short form, they're doing reels, they're doing some written posts like captions and things like that, right? And they try to get people to comment, to raise their hand, so that way they could DM them. They try to get people into some kind of PDF lead magnet. Maybe they're trying to get them into a challenge. And the common consensus across the board here is that right now there are so many people that are raising their hand for stuff on the internet because information's everywhere. It's the click of a button. And when I'm speaking with a lot of coaches, and I know from my past experiences a few years back, it's a lot of unqualified leads, right? Especially like with platforms like Facebook and Instagram, where it's so easy to get a follower. It's so easy to friend request somebody. It's not that challenging with some decent copywriting, with some decent content, to be able to get people to raise their hand. The problem is they don't want to buy your high ticket stuff. There is a certain sequence, there's a certain psychology, there's certain messaging, like words that you should say to be able to attract the right people in. And there's a journey that you want to be able to bring people through. And so I'm going to show you something that we'll coin as the Bermuda Triangle of content. So just like the Bermuda Triangle, which is what, like Bermuda, Florida, and I think Puerto Rico, things have been said to be lost at sea there, right? Planes go through and they get sucked in and lost, never to be seen again. Well, you could create a very similar effect, real talk here, with your content. We can have a Bermuda Triangle of your content. And this is what a content ecosystem is all about. It's not just appealing to somebody on your Instagram page or on your Facebook page and staying very surface level. You could bring people deep into your world by attaching things like email and YouTube. And so I'm going to walk you through this. Take close notes, and I'm going to walk you through how to map out your own kind of journey from where somebody becomes a friend of yours or a follower into how to move them through to becoming a high ticket buyer. And so this is our content ecosystem. Yours might look a little bit different if you use a different top of funnel. But let's go ahead and say Facebook right now, for me, is what we call top of funnel, TOF. We combine this with email. We'll consider that a middle of funnel. And then we combine this with YouTube and or podcast. For us, I'm mainly doing YouTube videos, and we repurpose these for podcast episodes. And why we're doing this is it's really easy to attract an audience on Facebook here. Really easy. Facebook and Instagram, super easy to attract an audience. But these people are going to be very cold. So let's go ahead and make a blue for cold. And then email, this is a list that you now own. So Facebook and Instagram, you're borrowing them from Zuckerberg, essentially. Email, you own that list. And the only way you could take that list, the only way that list can be taken from you is if you royally screw up. And so just don't do any like weird stuff and you're good. But you should never get this, right? So this is where we are going to start to convert people, is from your email list. In fact, our email list has a really high conversion rate. Don't know what the exact conversion rate is, but it's really high. And YouTube and podcast, this is where we really are able to captivate our audience and be able to nurture them, build relationships with them, give them really great content to help them solve problems, just like I'm hopefully helping to do with you right now. And so that's the purpose of these. So we want to have just one main platform that we're focused on building on top of funnel, where we're getting new followers, we're getting, whatever it may be, friends, whatever you want to call them on that platform, connections. And then we want to have our email. This is where we're nurturing our top of funnel people, and we own this list. I'll give you some strategies to build this email list up and all that stuff. And then we have YouTube. So I've been using YouTube and podcasts for years. I now see a lot of people talking about it. It's been an amazing tool for us. YouTube is the easiest thing to do because you can literally take out your iPhone, put it on, what's that mode called? Cinematic, right? You can put it on cinematic mode. You can have a pretty decent quality video that you can have uploaded within 15 minutes. Doesn't take a lot of work or editing or anything like that. So it's a really easy, low barrier platform to be able to produce long form content. Now, why add this? Well, it's not as I mentioned at the beginning, how to turn somebody from stranger to client, high ticket client, 72 hours or less. It's not about the length of time somebody spends in your quote unquote funnel. It's the amount of content that they consume. And so if you can get people into your content and starting to binge it, which YouTube and podcast are the most bingeable platforms. They kind of model a lot of what like Netflix and Apple TV and stuff have with their shows. They're very bingeable because when you're giving great information to people and when you're helping solve their problems, you're going to be able to get people to want to continue to consume different videos, and you're going to get them to continue to solve problems. And when you can start doing that in a very short amount of time, this helps increase the amount of inbound leads that you'll get here in your top of funnel. This will increase the amount of people that respond to you because you're literally providing them useful, tangible value in a way that it's easy for them to binge, right? It's hard for people to binge in like a Facebook group or on a Facebook or Instagram page. It's challenging. It's going to take a lot of 30-second videos for them to watch, or short written posts or whatever on your page, for them to be able to have that know, like, and trust, and to truly be able to have their problem solved. Versus a video like this, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It doesn't have to be crazy long. That is where you can go deep with people, provide them these epiphanies, these insights, and they can see if they vibe with you, right? They can see if they vibe with you right out of the gates. So that's like the high level overview of it. This is how we personally do it. So for my Facebook, my first kind of goal when I have somebody come in, I don't do the whole cold DM game. I've never really played with that. So I'm always looking for intent. So, and let me pop back off here for just a second. You see me loud and clear here. Crystal clear. I'm goofy. I'm sorry. I think I got too much salt water in my nostrils today. But here's the real. All right. Is you want to look for intent on these platforms. You can get yourself bogged down into this like endless DM game if you're trying to like speak to everybody with a heartbeat. I look for intent. So if somebody becomes my friend on Facebook, let's say, or follows my Instagram, I'm going to send them a welcome message, maybe being like, hey, Mary, it's freaking great to connect with you. Hope you're having an awesome day. Like something like just normal human stuff. And if Mary responds back asking questions and there's intent that she's interested in talking with me and having me help solve a problem, I will move forward. Or if Mary starts to engage with my content, maybe she comments on a post, maybe she asks for a PDF or an invite to a workshop if we're hosting one of those, I start to look for intent. And that's where I will move forward in what I'm about to show you. What I don't like to do is sit there and waste my time trying to talk with people that have zero intent or interest. It's just, to me, it's not worth it. And so, just again, I give you a little food for thought, if you will. So once I see that there's intent, I'm going to be able to either send them my lead magnet. Most people, if you've well positioned your lead magnet, like in your bio and things like that, people with intent will click and they will get it on their own. This is what happens in most cases for us. But if not, I know that our lead magnet is massively valuable. It's a client attraction content ebook, and it has frameworks and examples. I know it's really, really in demand for us. And so when I give this to somebody, they're like blown away. So I know it's really valuable. And so they're willing to give me their email in exchange for this. And this further starts to build a relationship with them. And I also try to send them videos like this. If they're like, hey, I'm struggling with content creation, or I'm struggling with messaging, I'm going to try to find a way to like find videos that I've done and give it to them. Maybe just one or two things, right? This starts to get people from cold, stranger, now they're warm. You're starting to warm them up really, really quickly. And once you get people into here, the average thing, and this has happened to us multiple times over the last couple years, is people will start going through. They'll watch one video, two videos, three videos, four videos, and they'll do that on their own, right? So your messaging, the words that you've used already, if you've done that right, you're saying the right words in the right way to the right people, and your content will do the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to DM as much. Like when people are like, Jason, how do you attract so many clients without DMing? It's this. the messaging and the content do the heavy lifting. And then email. For me, I write for email, but for most people that aren't like obsessed with copywriting like me, maybe you just send them your best content that you're putting on your Facebook page or your Instagram page. That's it. So maybe 3 times a week, you're sending your best content. And I like to have a menu of offers on each of my emails. So for us, like today, I'm actually promoting an upcoming workshop that we're doing for what we call magic messaging. And so in my email, there's an offer to, hey, join our workshop. Sometimes I offer trials to people that want to trial our program. Sometimes I just like the offer is just like, hey, reply back with your biggest insight. Sometimes it's to book a call. Sometimes I'm sending them to people to a YouTube video. And so the point is you want to have a menu of offers to where some are very indirect and very, very value driven, like a YouTube video or a trial or something like that. And some could be more direct, like, hey, buy a workshop, or attend a free workshop, very value driven, or book a call or something like that, right? And then with YouTube, you just want to send your top of funnel, your Facebook or your Instagram, and your email list these things, right? This is where like you get people to you nurture people, which means to care for and develop the relationship with, right? You're trying to build genuine relationships and you're trying to take care of people. And that's what nurture means. And so you want to be able to nurture these two things, these two parts, right? So I kind of drew out a little graphic here for you, but like on the very, what would this be? Like the left side of the arrow is cold. And this is where you get traffic. It could be from a podcast interview you did. It could be from Facebook friend requesting. It could be from a follower. You want to get them into the lead magnet. Again, I do this when somebody shows intent. And a lot of times people will self-do this by just clicking on the link in my bio or something like that, right? If you're running ads, it's really easy to get people in, but I'll find that it's like there's some intent, but it's lower intent versus when somebody organically, they follow you on their own or they become a friend or a connection, whatever. Once they've shown intent, I will be like, hey, I've got this really cool ebook called our client attraction ebook, and it has templates and frameworks. Is that something that would be helpful for you? And 99% of people are going to be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. So I send that the link for them, right? And then I didn't really mention this too much above, but we have what's called content cadences and content campaigns. So to warm people up, I just showed you a really strategic way to do it. And then we're going to end here, by the way, with like how to create an actual journey and make this predictable and systematized. But the key here is like in your ongoing content, you want to make sure that you're sharing a diverse range of content. You want to have connection content that's going to be showing people what you stand for, what you stand against, and it's going to show people your values, beliefs, and your lifestyle, because like attracts like. People like them. Simple as that. You're going to want to have influence content. Influence content is going to be content that we'll come back to that in a second. Influence content is where you're literally sharing content that's going to help challenge and discredit commonly held beliefs, like false beliefs. You're going to dismantle the beliefs. You're going to discredit mistakes and inefficient actions people are taking. And you're going to lay down your truths, what you know people should do. This is where you might introduce people to a unique mechanism that you help people with, right? Like for us, it's my magic messaging framework or our content campaigns. Maybe for you, it's like a nutrition. Maybe you have some kind of flexible nutrition framework or something like that, right? You start to shift people's perspectives into new beliefs, into new mechanisms that they can start to inquire about. Then you have authority content. Authority content is where you're showing social proof, where you're demonstrating your authority by sharing social proof. And again, by speaking to your unique mechanisms and new beliefs and really providing some tangible, useful value for people. And then you have conversion content, right? And so that in a nutshell is the content cadence. Content campaigns are very direct and specific ways that you move people into some kind of what you can call a conversion event. This could be you're creating very call to action driven content where you're getting people to comment or opt in for a workshop or a live training or maybe a promotion that you're doing or a wait list or something along those lines. So it's a very call to action driven campaign that you'll typically run over the course of 6 to 10 days on average. Then you have your conversion system. For us, we use workshops and trials are our main conversion system. And again, I teach this more in depth inside the client attraction marketing program that we have. And then there's the conversion assets. These are going to be things like really good video sales letters, maybe written sales letters. These are going to be things like strategic trainings that you've done, maybe even social proof pages. That's what this is going to be, right? And so, little visual for you. Now, the client journey. This is just an example of how it usually works for us. And what most people do is they try to skip steps in here, and this is why they don't convert. But when somebody becomes a friend with me on Facebook or a follower on Instagram, again, I look for intent, right? When somebody comments on my post, it's intent. True in-demand coaches don't chase clients. People chase them. So when somebody starts to have intent, I connect in Messenger. Now, I have people all the time that just meet me and they see a post and they want to buy like a low ticket workshop from me or they want to pay me for a call. Most of the time I don't skip steps unless like I usually 99% of the time I don't skip steps. And so when I connect in Messenger and somebody's like, yeah, like I saw your post, it looked really good, I'm interested in XYZ, or if somebody just comments on something, I might be like, hey, what intrigued you about that? I'm just curious. I'm just trying to get to like know the person. Even if they want to buy a low ticket product from me, I typically will be like, hey, let me first give you some free value that might solve your problem. And I think people really appreciate that, right? I could go for like the low ticket sale or the high ticket sale or try to book a call or whatever. But I always try to like provide some free value first based on what they tell me as I'm connecting in Messenger. This to me has really helped actually speed up the process versus what most people do is they're just trying to like get on a call and they're skipping a bunch of steps, and then they have a hard time selling their high ticket program or they have a hard time booking calls. So these are two crucial steps, right? I send people to a long form video, and then a lot of times people will self buy stuff. I have a lot of times in sometimes the description of our videos, or I might send them to a landing page that has a link and that'll have like a way for them to buy a workshop for like $100. Sometimes we sell calls for like 300 to 500. So sometimes upward towards $1,000. People will buy a call to get on a call with me, and then you will usually either get on a call or in the DMs. We'll send them an offer document that pretty much outlines our program. It's really well done. It has great copywriting and stuff like this. And I actually have been helping my clients all write these offer docs with really fire copywriting. That's cool. And then people buy the high ticket. So there's probably some more nuances if I really sat down with this, but this is kind of like high level how that journey looks for us. And I'm sure it's not too dissimilar for you. I think that where most people are missing is they're missing these things. And that's why they don't get as many inbound leads. That's why they don't convert as much, because they don't have this in place. So just to recap, having a really well done content ecosystem in place is absolutely key, especially if you want to have more inbound leads and you want your content and your messaging to do the heavy lifting for you, so you don't have to be bogged down in the DMs all day, creating crazy amounts of content, running ads, all of this stuff that people do, so they don't actually have a well done content ecosystem in place, right? I gave you some examples of ways that we do it and ways that you can start to apply this, more kind of high level things. And then here's a way that you can start to break down that journey. You can just kind of model a lot of how we do it. And if you want to get into the nitty gritty, the specifics of this, I will be hosting a workshop this coming week on how to really be able to come up with your magic message, the right words to be able to attract, on average, at least our clients do, 10 to 15 quality inbound leads a week. and you want to learn how to be able to actually plug that into your content ecosystem. So you know what topics to come up with, what the right hooks are to attract your dream clients, the whole shebang, like how to essentially take a stranger, use your words, plug those words into the ecosystem, and be able to move them through a very effective, high converting system. And you want to learn the ins and outs of how to do that more personalized over a Zoom session, then I'll have the link down below. And feel free to join the workshop. And if you can't make the live workshop, you will get full access to the recording, to all the frameworks and the content templates and everything that we're going to be giving away. So just let me know down below. And lastly, if you found this video helpful, I would love to hear your thoughts. Put your comment down below. Let me know what you thought, your biggest takeaways. And if you did find this video helpful, make sure to click subscribe for more. As always, remember your message matters. Your story matters. Don't be afraid to speak it. As always, be seen, be heard, and be impactful.